to get some things up on these shelves. Well, hello friends, I'm Mary Beth with At What Cost, where simple living and deep faith go hand in hand. And you saw last week's video, we got this sitting room kind of cleared out and looking pretty good. My husband put these shelves up and I have just been slowly over the last day or so kind of gathering things up from around the house, just throwing them up there so that I have some place and kind of some things to work with as I start to put this shelf together. I have done quite a bit of research, as you can see, and I have gotten a lot of great ideas. But I think the best piece of advice that I saw on styling bookshelves was on Pinterest, and it said, start with the books. Which yes, of course, that's the most important part, right? This is our container for all of my books. So I want to make sure that I have enough space for those, that they're spread out evenly. I want to sort them by author and just get those arranged first, and then go back in and fill with these plants or pictures or home decor items, which, to be honest, I just don't have a lot of those things anymore. I've gotten rid of a lot of our home decor, but what I seem to have a lot of lately are plants. So let's get to work. Okay, so those are all, well, most. This is about 95% of the books. My husband still has a bin of books downstairs, but this is really kind of it. At least that was upstairs, and that will be going on these bookshelves. Some really good ones too. This was one of my favorite books growing up. And then many years ago, my dad gave me these Lord of the Ring books, which I have not read, but I was thinking maybe I might read them to our kids at some point. So the next thing that I'm going to do is sort these books by author and get anything that's in a series together. Like I have some Nancy Guthrie books that are in a series. I want to get those all in the same place. And then I will start kind of playing around with where the books need to go on the shelves. And I need to take all of this stuff, this like home decor stuff that's up here down too, so that it doesn't get in the way of like the process, right? So the more I'm thinking about it, I probably need to sort these by type and then by author, because I have some things in here that are like things for us to read to help our kids, like parenting books, or things that are like about marriage and like self-help kind of, I don't know, things. But I also have a ton of Bible studies in here, and I also have a bunch of Bibles. So I need to get this sorted, I think, by type first, and then we'll go by author. Okay, those are all sorted. So I am just going to start arranging these books on the shelf. After I keep forgetting to take those down, I'm going to start arranging. It's time to arrange. I also still have my trusty emotional support animal. Realized something as I'm arranging these. I'm trying to use that zigzag kind of or triangle method that I have seen in some of these Pinterest posts and on some of the videos I watched. And we have a light switch on one side of our fireplace to turn it on and off. And the way that I have the books arranged right now, I won't be able to access the light switch if I put books on that side. So I'm gonna have to rethink, but sorting this by subject has been a little difficult because I have a bunch of books that are kind of like random authors and random topics, but I think once I get all of this stuff up on the shelf and I have a better idea, instead of just having stacks on the floor, I'll have a better idea of how I actually need to sort these. But at least I'm getting a like rough kind of draft on the wall. I can't decide how I feel about it. I think we're off to a good start. I think some of the places where I stacked the books to like act as bookends, I didn't stack them high enough. I may turn those, like that entire section on its side so that it's just a stack of books. I don't know, I can't decide. And I am working around kind of like a staple item, like the cable box is going to have to go on a shelf and the Xbox has to stay on a specific shelf. And I did a basket next to it for the controllers and the remote control. So that stuff has to stay there. I really liked that like globe and the dictionary on that one particular shelf, especially because it's kind of leaning a little, like we could not get it actually straight. I don't know if the bracket is just like slightly bent, but I was worried about putting like something heavier on that particular place. But I almost feel like that dictionary and globe needs to go up on top by the Lord of the Rings books. I also ended up putting up, I have some other classic things like the Beatrix Potter tales, the Uncle Remus tales, like stuff that I don't necessarily read, but they're all original copies of things, except the Peter Rabbit stuff. That's, you know, but they're the original stories and we do like to read them sometimes. And like the tales of Winnie the Pooh, but I don't, like, I'm not pulling those down and reading them all the time. But I think it would be fun to have the globe, the dictionary, and maybe even that ship up there on the top, because that would kind of give that shelf a little bit of a theme. Ooh, interesting. I think I'm going to start working with some of the home decor stuff, and then maybe things will kind of balance out. I did order some lights from Amazon, but I'm waiting for them to come in. I don't know if they're going to be here in time for this video to go out. Let's keep our fingers crossed that in the next few days, the lights show up and you can actually see the whole thing completed. Because I keep seeing it in my head and I'm hoping that it like ends up being what I expect for it to be. We'll see. Thanks so much for joining me today as I styled out these bookcases. They are not quite done. I feel like over the next few weeks, I'm gonna move some things around. I'll probably find more books that are just kind of laying around the house somewhere and just kind of rearranging. I also left the shelf here empty because I don't have our lights yet, and that shelf has the least amount of clearance. So I don't want to put anything on that shelf until I get our lights installed, and then I can kind of adjust. The same way with the bookcase that's up here, if the lights are too kind of far away or too close, I may have to move some things around. But overall, I'm pretty happy with the way that this turned out. This room is so nice to be in. Both my husband and I have found ourselves gravitating up here to this room. In fact, the other night I just kind of had all of the lights off with the exception of my little floor lamp here, and I put some AirPods in and I just listened to some really good music, relaxed, and it was just so refreshing. It truly is the sanctuary that we have desired for it to be. Thanks so much for watching, and until I see you again, keep fighting the good fight.